scene and record, and we're recording. So back in 2011 or so, I got started with network marketing. An uncle of mine that's totally different side of the family from Rochelle, he introduced me to it, and he had some magical results with the product. And, I was like, oh, I could get out of this job thing. I'm going to get rich. This stuff is incredible. And so for me, they told me to just kind of hit up everybody I know. And at the time, that was a bunch of college kids and people that, didn't really have any aspirations, and my drinking buddies. And so that didn't really work out too well for me. But I knew that there was some way that I could grow the business online. I'm like, well, obviously, there's millions of people joining network marketing every single year. There's like 300 billion or something, 200 billion annual. And so I start to figure out, how do I grow this business through the internet? How do I build it through the cold market? And I know, Rochelle, you've been doing a bit of cold market kind of growth, right? Yeah. And so, I went on this journey to search, and one of the things that I found was YouTube. And I found YouTube. And I'm not going to be talking about YouTube today, but video marketing is extremely powerful. And so this one day I make this video, and I'm standing out in this, it was right after I'd actually gotten laid off. I was making a couple of grand a month in my business, and I got laid off. I had this plan. I'm going to quit in 3 months. And they're like, no, you're not. You're gone now. I probably had mentally checked out. Maybe you guys, some of y'all can relate to mentally checking out. Like, I don't really need this job. I'm just going to hold it until, things are going to take off here. And I'm going to tell my boss to, I'm out. I can't afford to waste time here. You guys aren't paying me enough, right? So I start making these videos, and then I get laid off, and I go out to San Diego. And so I'm living in San Diego for about 45 days, and I'm making these videos on my cell phone. And one of the videos that I make on my cell phone, I'm talking about an opportunity. I'm talking about network marketing. I'm kind of speaking about what I'm doing and kind of teaching what I'm learning, right? As I had learned that if I learn it, I want to do it. I want to take action. I want to put it into effect. Then I immediately want to turn around and teach it so that I can learn to teach a la vez, right? Did I say that right in Espanol?
A la vez.
A la vez. At the same time, right? Learn to teach at the same time. And so one of these videos that I made, Sandy saw while she was in Atlanta with her boyfriend.
This was 2014, something like that. My ex-boyfriend at the time was looking for opportunities to make money from home. And actually he was looking to join Wake Up Now. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of that company a long time ago, but I looked it up and I found Brian's video on top of all the videos on YouTube. And you were talking about, yeah, Wake Up Now, it's good, all the benefits. But I have a better option, which is...
That was a little separate of a thing. But one of the things I did is I told you to do what on the video? Or actually, maybe it was in an email later.
Oh, on his email marketing, he told me to connect with him on Facebook. And so I went through all these different steps to find him on Facebook and send him a friend request and send him a message. Yeah.
And so that was also through an email. So I'm not going to cover email marketing either, but being in front of people in multiple areas. So if you get a hold of somebody on Instagram, bouncing them over to Facebook, now they see your pictures on Facebook, they see your posts on Instagram, they see your story on whatever, you tell them to follow you on Snapchat, wherever you hang out and produce content at, having people follow you there makes you feel more like a real person. Does that make sense?
That's true.
You're not just seeing one-sided. And so then we start talking on Facebook. And
anyway, that relationship didn't work. 2 years later, here I am watching Brian traveling the world, and I wanted to travel the world. I had already been traveling to several countries, but I wanted more of that because I had 2 jobs and working my ass. Anyway, I wanted freedom. I wanted to work from home or anywhere in the world. So he contacted me when he found out I was single and comment on my photos, my trips. I did the same for him. And at that time, he was in Australia for 3 months. And we were talking back and forth, and he flew from Australia to Atlanta to meet me.
Yep.
So we've been together now almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah,
that was January. From my point of view, I had watched her travel. She was going to see all 7 wonders of the world. She went to 6 of them, and I watched her do it on Facebook. And so she had became a real person in my mind as well. And so I had known her, I had spoken to her, you know, she had bought some stuff like years ago and then refunded it. And so, you know, we were still just friends on Facebook. She wasn't interested in network marketing. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, 2 years go by later. I'm like, well, she was interested 2 years ago. Maybe she's still interested. You know?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad you didn't.
she's beautiful. You know, she would do well. I would love to have her on my team, and she's awesome, and she travels the world. Like, that's exactly who I'm looking for too. I knew, you know, what I wanted, and so I'd reach out to her, and we talked a little bit, and then we developed a bit of a relationship, and then we met.
So that law of attraction really it works, because I was actually looking for someone that liked to travel, because my ex-boyfriend didn't like to travel, and that's the reason why. Anyway, but I just want to that's another situation, but I just want to tell y'all that if you hesitate on making a video, don't hesitate. Put it out there. If you're single, you might meet the love of your life.
I've got a story that you don't know about, actually. A business partner of mine, and this transitions nicely into Instagram and right into the content. But I work with a business partner of mine. We both have an Instagram agency where we manage over, 2 million followers across multiple different accounts and help people grow their audiences while they still produce the content. And so, like, you would post the picture, but I would grow the audience. And so I do that for a lot of people. He does it as well. And one of his clients, he's growing this account for her in New York. And this is Dawn. I don't know if you remember Dawn. Okay, yeah. So for Dawn, he's growing this account for her in New York, and she gives this message back to Lawrence, and she's saying, like, hey, whatever you're doing with that Instagram thing, it's working. I'm getting leads, I'm making sales and stuff. But I think I met Mr. Right, is what she said. And so she actually got a date out of growing Instagram, using this to grow her business. She ended up meeting a guy, and they've been on several dates, and she really likes him up in New York. So
interesting.
This stuff is powerful.
All right, y'all. Nice to meet you, everybody.
So, So hopefully that's a little bit inspiring. You guys are going to learn a bit, not just about business, but, this could be pretty powerful for multiple things. In addition to growing network marketing business with this, I've also grown other businesses. I've helped other businesses outside of this niche. This stuff works for everything, and made a bunch of friends too. So let me jump right in, and well, actually, before you guys have any questions, while I'm looking for, excuse me, the right slide. Get my slides pulled up here.
Is there anything specifically that anybody wants covered, or you want to just kind of see what he's going to cover and then ask questions on the back end? Because I know he's going to talk about growing your Instagram, what your page should look like, all that kind of stuff. Finding your target audience. Is there anything else? About
often we're supposed to post, like what a good
what
a good rule of thumb is, because we've heard so many different aspects of it.
Okay. Yeah. I have a little bit of a section on, I can just answer that now, honestly. How often to post? It's going to depend on a couple of things. And the main thing that it would depend on is how fast you're growing. And so if your account's not really growing, it doesn't really matter how often you post, because you're just posting to the same people. And so as long as you're posting a couple of times a week, those same people are going to see it if they like seeing your stuff. And Instagram knows if they like it. They stay on the picture a little longer. They comment on it. They like it. They give you some kind of engagement, or they don't, right? So if you're actively growing it, you can't really – posting too much really only matters in that you'd be wasting your time. Does that make sense? Was that Emily that asked that? Yeah. So, what you want to do is, and here's a way that you can think of recruiting, right? Because you guys want to do this for recruiting. Has everybody recruited somebody before? Raise your hand. I've got a couple of people have recruited. Yeah. Everybody that I could see has recruited before. So I think of recruiting as a series of exposures that gets bigger with each exposure, right? So it's not like a one-stop event. I'm going to recruit this person. It's a series of exposures, So maybe Sandy met me on the video, and then she watched me travel around the world, and then we chatted back and forth maybe 3 times over 2 years, and then we started talking a lot, and things started to escalate, right? And so a series of exposures with each exposure. You can consider each picture that you have, you staying top of the mind, right? They call it TOMA, top of the mind awareness, TOMA. And you want to be in the top of their mind, them thinking about it, so that let's say you make a post specifically about the greens, or you make a post about, you know, the wraps, or about something like that. And then all of a sudden, like, something happens where they think that, you know, oh, I would love this benefit, or I would love whatever. And because they saw you earlier, they're like, oh yeah, Emily posted that awesome picture about that earlier. I wonder what she's doing. And they go search you out. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like the whole thing is like how Facebook has the algorithm. Several people that claim to be like Instagram gurus as far as ITWORKS is concerned, like they would say only post 1 to 2 times a day, or 2 to 3 times a day. And then we've seen like other YouTube tutorial videos when they're like, don't post more than 1 time a day because of Instagram's new algorithm. And so I think for us, we just want to like make sure that like we're not fucking up the algorithm.
Okay.
Saturating
So so to give you the plan to not fuck up the algorithm, what you want to do is you want to test, right? And so if you have a very, very super engaged following, like you post a picture and they're all over it, they're commenting it, you know how to get like to the heart, right? You know how to use words that you know, that really touch your audience, and it pulls them and they love it. If you really have your target audience narrowed down and you're talking directly to them and you're good at it, they're going to like it. And everything you post, Instagram's going to know. It is like Facebook's with the edge rank, right? Instagram is going to know and they're going to see it. But then on the other side of things, sometimes they don't open up Instagram that day. And then you post again later. And maybe they will have missed one. And so I don't think that the answer is that there's a one size fits all. And I think that it's probably more useful, and this is how I like to see it. It's more useful to build it around your life, not so much try to build your life around your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect.
So I don't know that I can give you like the correct answer and tell you who's wrong. And any way, shape, or form you're doing it, you're not fucking up. It's fine. But what I would do is just kind of build it to where it enhances your lifestyle. You're cool with it. It's not a hindrance like, oh, hold on, guys, I got to go do this. I got to go work real quick. Because that's not really, if what you're doing isn't attractive, nobody's going to want to do it. Right?
Yeah.
If what you're doing sucks, then, they're not going to want to do it. So they're like, oh my God, yeah, I can never do what she does. She posts on Instagram like 6 times a day. Her pictures are so awesome. It looks like it puts 30 minutes into all of them. I don't even know how she gets the time to do that. If that's their perception, they're not going to want to do that. Right? And they're going to feel like they can't do that. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can get away with 1 a week that take you 2 minutes and people just join and then you make a bunch of money, that's even better. You're like, oh my God, I post on Instagram once a week and like 20 people join. Obviously that's a little unrealistic to think that could happen, but if that's the perception that they get, then it's even sexier.
Boom.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm going to push the rest of the questions to the end, and I'm going to share my screen real quick and give me a thumb up if you can see it. I got some thumbs. Cool. So how do I go full screen? I forgot. Present. That's how. All right, cool. So I'm not going to spend too long with these slides and stuff, but I do want to show you a couple of things. So this is how to get your first 10,000 followers on Instagram. And I am Brian Couch. This is a picture over here with Sandy and I in Dubai at the tallest observation deck in the world on the tallest building in the world. And those people are insane. They're actually building a building even taller than that so that the already empty office spaces on this terrible decision to build a massively crazy expensive building, they're going to be even more empty. And the observation is going to be empty because, 8 miles over to the other side is an even taller building. So I don't know. But anyway, it was a very crazy city and it was a lot of fun. I recommend it. But yeah, you can find one of my accounts. That is actually just from an old thing. But anyway, whatever. Better by Brian Couch with dots in it. One thing I want you to notice right there in the @ username is that I do have my name in it. It's not critical, but I think that people knowing my name, people knowing your name is a good thing. You can have a brand where maybe your brand isn't really about your name so much, but I like having my name as my brand. It makes it easy. So here's some stuff about Instagram that I don't really need to go too much into, but you can see this rapid, just kind of starting to go straight up growth, over 700 million users. Right? You can see they went from 600 million in December of 2016 to 700 million 4 months later in April. I don't have an up-to-date graph, but I imagine they're probably above that now. So, you know, Twitter is like the inverse. It's on the way down. Okay, so Instagram is definitely a place to be. Right around here is where Facebook bought it for like $1 billion in cash plus a bunch of stock options and stuff. So a lot of the things that work on Facebook, you know, they are going to be bringing those things over to Instagram. For instance, it used to be that every time you open up Instagram, and let me know if any of y'all remember this, but anytime you open up Instagram, it would be on the last picture that you saw when you closed it.
When I first started, it was like that. And so it was followed. That's where the 3-3 rule came in ITWORKS: post morning, noon, and night. So yeah.
Okay. That would make sense.
Because you always wanted to be the last person to post on somebody's newsfeed because you would be the first person that they saw.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's not true anymore. They took edge rank from Facebook. And so now you got to have good content that your audience loves. All right. So 80% of Instagram users follow at least one business. You guys all have businesses. And so almost everyone on Instagram is following at least one business. So let's make that one of those yours. 60% of people say they discover new products on Instagram. 75% of Instagrammers take action after being inspired by a post. Has anybody taken action after being inspired by an Instagram post? Let's see if we do an informal poll. I got a couple of nods. Some like, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay. A third of the most viewed stories are actually from businesses. Is anybody using Instagram stories right now?
Not enough.
Okay.
I love their polls.
I was going to go into polls. Awesome. So you got a resident expert here. That's awesome.
Been around the block a few times.
Yeah, you guys should listen to Brittany. She knows what she's doing. All right. So there's an 80% increase in the time spent watching video on Instagram. It used to only be pictures. They introduced video. And since then, these are just from the Instagram website. So some basics. What do you have on Instagram? You got a profile picture, a bio, a name/username, and a notification. But let me back out of this real quick. Well, actually, I guess I could see all the faces that I could see. So do you guys, does everybody have an Instagram account of the people I can see? Which is, the 4 of you? Not everyone. Oh, I know Brittany does. And what's your name? It's covered up right here. Savannah, you have an Instagram account? Yeah? Okay, cool. So everyone's got an Instagram account. You guys are all pretty familiar with this stuff then. And you guys all use this account specifically for getting customers and, recruiting for ITWORKS, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to jump in and show this stuff anyway, but because I think some of you guys could probably update a few things. So here's a profile. The first thing, profile picture. Is your profile picture of your face? Everybody has a profile picture of their face? Okay. Are you smiling and showing teeth? Are you smiling and showing teeth? You may want to look at your profile picture and check that out. Another one is a bit of a squinch. I mostly put that in there because that's a funny word. But what that means is like a bit of a, like your eyes maybe, or the expression around your eyes are maybe not identical. Okay. This also comes from a lot of data where in local elections, it literally doesn't matter what the hell anybody's talking about in local elections. Every single time they did like a poll and they took a picture of the winner and a loser in a local election, and they just flash showed the two pictures to people from a completely different state and saying, who do you think won, this one or this one? And they're like, that one, this one or this one, that one, this one or this one, that one. And they did it across all of them, and it was like 90-something% picked correctly. They picked the winner based purely off of the main picture that person used. And so they're like, all right, so what that means is people just vote for who they like and they trust just from looking at them. And so here's a couple of things you want. Huh?
I don't think she meant to say anything.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Sorry.
So yeah, unobstructed eyes. So that means no sunglasses. You guys have sunglasses. I would drop the sunglasses. And asymmetrical composition, meaning, this is good, but maybe this is a little better, right? If you're just slightly to the side or something. Okay. So that's just from some data on what works best. Now, this is specifically for what I'm going to teach you. The most important parts of all this are your profile picture. Well, actually, these right here, right? So your profile picture and then your name. Your username is less important. So I'll show you why here in a second. So there's the profile picture. Here's what notifications look like. Everybody has seen notifications on Instagram. Y'all have used them. What do you notice? What do you see in the notifications? You know, what kind of notifications do I get from these people doing things? What kind of notifications do I get? I get the little picture, so it's smaller. It's kind of blown up on this screen, but on the phone, it's pretty small. It's a small version of the profile picture. I get the name, right? And then if they commented, I get a comment. I see the words on the comment. Okay, so real quick, just like what somebody who has their mic off, what was the first thing you noticed when you looked at this?
The person that has two things on there.
There you go. Yeah. So not only does she have two, she also has a comment that takes up even more space. And so we notice things that are different, right? We notice change. So if you want to be noticed from somebody who gets a lot of likes on their stuff, have a picture that draws their eye, have a name that is interesting to them. So for me, the new Us project doesn't really pull me in. I don't, and then there's a girl there. Like this isn't nothing specific for me that really matters to me, right? But she did get my attention and I looked. And so maybe if that comment drew me, well, because she commented, I would probably reply or at least read it. Most people will do that. But the picture and then the username. So I want to be, well, I'll get back to that in a second. But I want to be specific about that. So here's your bio. There's the name portion and the username portion, and those are different. So if I come way back here, at the top I have Better by Brian Couch. That's the username. Join the Charge for Better. That's the name. Okay. I use the name as part of my copy, right? I call it copy is, writing words with the intent to sell something. Okay. So while I could put my name right there, I got my name and my username. And so they see, when they get a notification from me, they see my profile picture and they see Better by Brian Couch. They know there's a little bit of something going on that, I'm all about better, right? And they're like, okay, well, this guy's smiling. Maybe he's worth checking out. What's going on? And the reason that's important is because if you're talking about recruiting strangers, you're talking about growing your profile of people who you don't know in the cold market, right? The only way that we really have to interact with them is sending them these notifications. Okay, so your bio, you have 150 characters. You'll notice about my bio here, I've got a lot of white space. And I also use a lot of emojis. And I end it with a call to action, meaning I am directly telling them what to do. When I teach video marketing, I tell people that, to do the call to action indirectly, and then also do it again directly, and then say something else and tell them again directly exactly what to do. And these are just things that work better for getting more people to click on stuff. And so if you've got your bio where you've got a lot of white space, it talks about the benefits of what they're going to get or who you are or what you're all about or something like that. This one's kind of a specific account. So, you don't have to model it exactly. If you like what you have on yours, that's good too. It can tell what you're about, right? It can make a lot of sense. It doesn't necessarily have to be an ad. Mine is definitely set up more like an ad in this account right here. And I'll get to why here in a bit. So then the next part is the name username. If you go to like these three little dots up here in the top right, or you click on this big button right here that says edit your profile, you'll see the first part is the name. And this is the one that is bold. And for me, that I like to use as copy. You don't have to use it as that, but if your name is in your username or the brand or what you want to be known as or called or whatever is in your username, there's no reason to have it again. Right? You only get so much space, so you want to use it wisely.
Just a live chat on Facebook, on Messenger.
So real quick, let me mute Kim.
It works.
And Kim, just unmute if you actually had a real question and interrupt me. But on the white space, so the way that you do that, for some reason, you can't just type it right here in the bio. It's kind of annoying. If you just open up a notes pad on your phone, and then you can type out that bio and you can actually use the inners and you can get it all there. And just, you got to be kind of ready to be flexible, because if it's too many characters, you put it in there and you click the save and it'll be like, nah, too many characters. And then you got to figure out how to shorten it and what to remove and how to replace stuff, and maybe not use real sentences sometimes to get the message across. Okay. But you'll notice down here, this is how the notifications look down at the bottom here. It says 36411. Those are what the notifications look. So as soon as they open up Instagram, they see those notifications. That's different. It stands out. They want to click on it. There's a little red thing. You know, some people are like real OCD about like all those little red buttons. The phone has trained them that if there's a number on there, they need to click it and they need to check those notifications, right? The phones they've already done that work for us. They've trained your customers that if there's a notification, they need to click on it and they need to look at it and see what the hell it is, right? And so you want your notifications to be part of that. All right. So yeah, these are switched, but you can just mess with it. Okay. Next one is the notifications. They're all right here, but notice what's shown. I guess I already talked about this, but you got your profile picture, your username, which is not your name, it's the username. And then if there's a comment, that stands up. That stands out. Right? This is your first impression. This is the first time that this brand new person gets to see you, which is why it's so important to have a profile picture that, you know, smiling, they can see your eyes, they can see teeth. I don't know, studies show that a smile with teeth is better than one without. And so that kind of stuff's important for meeting complete strangers. Your first impression goes a long way, right? Okay, so then this next one is, I'm going to get into hashtags here. So is everybody familiar with hashtags? Yeah? Okay. The last audience that I made this for was very varied. Very, very varied. And we had some people that were a lot older, and I had to explain this a little bit more, but I'll keep a little. You guys are probably pretty familiar with it. But on hashtags, this is one of 3 ways that you can target your customer avatar. And if you don't know what a customer avatar, this would be the very specific person that you're talking to. So I am talking to Nancy, who is a stay-at-home mom of 3 children, right? She is busy. She is constantly on the go. She does not have a ton of time. She also does not have a ton of money. She's got extra stress on top of everything else. And, you know, if she just had some extra way to bring in some extra income, you know, that might be useful. Or maybe she's not feeling the best about her body image or something. The point is, a customer avatar, this is somebody that, you know, you want them to have a name. And you want to know everything that there is about them. If you just go to Google and, I'm on Google. If you go to Google and you say customer avatar worksheet, and come on over here to images, you can find something that looks like this. And so, not perfect, but here we go. Agency Eric. So here's Eric. Eric is 40. He's a male. He's married. He's got 2 children, 8 and 10. He lives in Orlando, Florida. Now we have listed out all of his challenges, his pain points, his goals, his values, his dreams, his aspirations, what he knows, where he's getting his information from. One of those sources obviously would be Instagram. If we're going to be targeting them, they need to be Instagram users. Some objections and roles in the purchase process. Maybe this is the kind of person that always struggles, you know, that the first thing that they look at is the price. Or maybe this is the kind of person that always wants the best, right? Who is the kind of person that you're talking to? And here's maybe a quote, right? I surround myself with people smarter than me. What kind of quote? Who is this person? What would be like a good quote that they would really agree with? What do they do? How much money do they make? You know, knowing these kinds of things is really, really important. And if you don't want to do the hard work of doing all that, here's the cheat. Go with you. Talk to you. Talk to your pain points, your dreams, your desires. In fact, when you tell your story, I imagine a lot of you guys have already told your story plenty of times. And when you tell your story, who does your story resonate with most, right? It resonates with people who are most like you, who have the same struggles and the same pains and wants or dreams or desires or something like that. And they're like, oh, well, you know, if Emily can can overcome that, you know, maybe I can too, right? And you give them hope just by succeeding. Okay. So now that you know who your customer avatar is, what kind of hashtags are they using? You know, what kind of hashtags would they put on their picture? What kind of hashtags would they use to self-identify as a person that is within your target market? Okay. This is people voluntarily sharing this information, letting you know, okay, if they're the kind of person that hashtags, you know, second job, hashtag second job, okay, well, you know that they have a second job. Well, what else do you know about somebody that has a second job? Well, maybe they got a second job because their first job isn't paying enough, right? Oh, well, maybe that's a person that you could help out. All right, location. This would be another way that you can target your avatar. So in Instagram, I'm just going to pull this up now. Can you guys see my screen? Sorry, my phone. You can see my phone? Okay, cool. So if I go to Instagram, and we'll come in here, and if I search for, lifetime, let's see what comes up. Okay, so I've got lifetime. Well, I was looking. Yeah, here we go. So here's lifetime, the gym, and this is their lifetime.life. I think this is the healthy way of life. Maybe that looks kind of like their, yeah. So this is the gym. And so who are these 68,000 people that follow Lifetime? Well, they're probably people that, I'm jumping ahead of myself, sorry. This is really what I was going to show. So here's one right here in San Antonio, Lifetime Fitness, 281, which is actually kind of the richer area, as you would imagine. That would be where they would put a Lifetime. And so then if you look at the top post, here's a bunch of people tagging themselves at Lifetime Fitness, okay? So if I wanted to target everybody in Lifetime Fitness, this would be, a group of people that I can look at and say, okay, are these people, they seem to be within my target audience, okay? Let's send them notifications. How do you send notifications? A like, a comment, or a follow, right? Those are the three ways that you can send a notification. They get a little red dot, like I got this little red dot right here by my heart saying, hey, click on this, look at it, right? And if you send them those notifications, they're going to see it. And so these would be people that you could find within your, demographics. So you're saying, okay, I want to target everybody who would kind of frequent a juice bar. My local juice bar is really busy, and I want to do business with those kind of people. Those are my kind of people. I go here all the time. I get them. This is the kind of people I want to network with. So you can target people in your local market that frequent a restaurant or a location of some sort that would make you believe that they're likely to be the kind of person that would love to buy from you. Does this make sense? You guys got any questions so far? Pop out. What's up?
So, like with the hashtags, and maybe you're going to get more into this, like using the hashtags. So, like if I hashtag something and like say I put like hashtag lady boss. So next time if someone searches hashtag lady boss, does that mean like my post will come up, or like how does it tie them to you, I guess is what I'm saying. Like it's searching, but like how does it benefit me by putting a bunch of hashtags under my post?
Yeah. So let me share this again. Okay. So let's go to a recent example. Okay, so here's that account that I was showing you. Here's a picture I posted. Let's grab a hashtag that I got on here. Let's go with one that I know I may still be ranking on. Maybe this is far enough along. We'll see. So when you have a hashtag on a picture, people are likely, people do look at this stuff. And so what we'll see is that there is 1.1, well, let's just go with one you said. Let's go with that one. Lady Boss. Okay, so now we're looking at the hashtag Lady Boss. Has anybody ever clicked on a hashtag and looked at the other pictures that are on that hashtag? We got Brittany. Brittany has. Yeah, you have, Rochelle? You've done that before?
Yeah, but that's why I'm just trying to understand, like, because I've heard use them now, don't use them anymore. So I just wanted to understand the link. So,
I don't know who would say don't use them or why you would not use them. It doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
Right? If anything, you could say maybe it would be a waste of time, but that's not true. I've definitely got data that shows that people see this stuff. So Lady Boss has 1.7 million people that have posted using hashtag Lady Boss. These are people that have self-identified as a lady boss. And so if this fits within your demographic, this is a group of people that you would want to do business with, then this is a group of people that you may want to look on this hashtag and see what's going on. And so you can look at it. So remember, I said the hashtags are good for being found and for finding. Okay, being found and for finding. And so if you're being found, that means that you posted a picture and you can have up to 30 hashtags on a picture. And so that means that on this one, if you posted one right now, this picture right here would be yours under most recent, right? This one right here, right there at the bottom. And then as soon as you got, I mean, I guess it's at the top of the not top post, right? Your top posts, those are going to be the ones that have a lot of likes on them. But below that, you've got the most recent. And so if you want to be found, you know, as soon as you post it, people that are looking at Lady Boss, you know, these are people that posted recently. And so here's a lady, she's looking, she's a lady boss. I'm only concerned with being conscious of my own bullshit and improving daily. Hashtag lady boss. Sounds awesome. You know, let's get to know this person. Like it, maybe leave her a comment, you know, go over here to her profile, follow her, right? She's got 547 followers. She may notice that all of a sudden she gets a bunch of likes or she, you know, some notifications come in and she looks at it and, you know, you say, oh yeah, you know, I liked your picture about this and, you know, I'm dealing with my own bullshit too. It's really cool or whatever. Right. So, the way that you're found is she was just found just right now by me. I just scrolled through this and of like the pictures on my screen, her picture drew me in and I clicked on it for whatever reason. Right. So if your picture draws somebody in, they click on it for whatever reason, and then your description resonates with them and compels them to want to talk to you, then you just got yourself a follower. You just got yourself somebody that's interested, somebody that's like, I'm moderately interested in getting to know you, right? Is really what they've done. And by following you, now they're like, okay, well, yeah, I'm interested in knowing what else you want to post. And so this starts the relationship. And maybe the copy in your bio is so good that they also want to go ahead and click on your link because they're like, oh, what is that guy? You know, what is she talking about? And they click on your link. For most of you guys, I would suggest right now that you make your link go to your Facebook profile and you say, shoot me a message on Facebook, right? That's just personally, unless you don't really use Facebook very much and you do a lot of business through Instagram and you like keeping it within Instagram, I like to move them over to Facebook also. For the main reason because I have a group for prospects and customers, but also because now they're seeing me in two areas, right? And so if you don't necessarily want to just link them to a store. That doesn't make any sense. That, you know, just throwing them to the company website, probably not going to get you any sales. But sending them to just connect further with you with a call to action of sending you a message. Now you've got a random stranger that sends you a message and said, hey, I saw your profile on Instagram, you know, and you said to send you a message and, you know, I reached out. I get tons of messages like that all the time. Okay, did that answer your question, Rochelle? Sorry, I also changed topics on you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So do you suggest using like the same 30 hashtags every time, or, you know, just so you're kind of staying within that same loop, like kind of copy and paste those hashtags every time? Or should it be like try new hashtags every post, every couple weeks? Like, yeah. Does it make a difference to kind of stay in the same niche for a while?
Great question. What would be the benefit of staying in the same niche? So, well, okay, I go in two ways. So one, if this is your avatar and you've dialed it in and you've got, let's say, 25 hashtags that you know, right? You know that people within that resonate, your people, you know, these are my kind of people right here. They use these hashtags. This is what I'm on. These are the kind of people that I can talk to because they're just like me. Maybe they've gone through some of the same struggles that I used to be in that I can now help them with because I've found a solution to those problems. Or these are the exact same kind of people. They would resonate with me a lot and they would like me. And if these people would like me, they may also give me a chance and, you know, talk to me. And, you know, then maybe they'll open up a conversation and they'll be interested in something I post. So whether or not you should always use the same ones, it is easier. So you should definitely find some. And if you don't have any extra ones, you can. But I mean, here would be the thing. Maybe one day you're taking a picture of you at the lake or whatever, you know, and then another day you're taking a picture of some product and it's your call to action day. Those aren't necessarily, the same hashtags aren't really going to make any sense, right? Like maybe Lady Boss would be applicable to both of them. But, you know, hashtag beautiful lake wouldn't be, right? So, you know, but there would still be people that are kind of interested in that. So not necessarily that you need to use hashtag beautiful lake. That's not really going to be within your realm of people. But it could be. And when you get a lot of likes, so here's your goal with hashtags. So let's say we're looking at this. This is Lady Boss. So if I look at the top 9 posts, I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but that's all right. We're on the topic. So if I'm looking at the top 9 posts, here's the first one, 281 likes, 165 likes, 714. So we got 115 right now is the lowest, 15 likes, 170, 189, 110. So it looks like if you had more than 15 likes, where did that picture go with 15 likes? Was it this one? Yeah. So if you had more than 15 likes on your picture, all of a sudden your picture would be right here, unless she's got a ton of comments. She's got 1 comment. Yeah. So if you had more than 15 likes and you got some engagement on there, this picture would disappear and your picture would show up. And now the people, this 1.7 million people, right, that have posted on this one, a percentage of those 1.7 million also click on the hashtag and look at it. And some of them will see your picture right here at the top. And maybe it'll be here for 3 days, 2 days, right? Just depends on how active that hashtag is, depends on how long you can stay there. But then they see it, and maybe this one stands out the most, your picture stands out the most, and they click to it, and now you've got traffic on your profile. If your profile is attractive, your bio, your face, your username, if that all is attractive to this person, and it's somebody that they're interested in, they'll follow. I mean, do any of you guys follow a random person that you found one day on Instagram that, has nothing, that you actually post their post? Like you look at the things they post?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. And they've never met you. They probably have no idea that you're following them, but you're watching them and you're watching what they post, right? Now you guys, obviously y'all have a lot of the same people that, that same thing, that fit that same category. A friend of mine shared that she was a heavy wine drinker and kind of eventually got around to saying she had an alcohol problem. And one of the people that she had been randomly following on Instagram for a long time that had been posting stuff that she always liked her stuff. And, the other lady had no idea that she was following her. She'd given up alcohol, and she made this whole post about how alcohol had affected her life and how, it started out this way, but then it transitioned to being this kind of thing, and it had been a big drain, and it had been a big problem on her, and she had given it up, right? Well, that one post planted the seed, right? It planted the seed in my friend's mind that Katie, maybe I can live with alcohol. Maybe I can live without alcohol. Maybe I don't, if she can do it, and I've been following her for so long, maybe I could give it up too. And it wasn't immediate, but that seed grew a little bit, and she found some more evidence for things. And then all of a sudden she took action on what she had learned from that Instagram post that she was inspired by. And she hasn't had alcohol in 9 months now. So she's been 9 months sober, and it's all because of a post that she had saw maybe 2 weeks before from somebody that she had been following for about 2 years and saw as an idol, and that person has no idea who she is, right? But that person was brave enough to share something that they were vulnerable about, and the struggle that they were struggling with that they had overcome, and it inspired her to eventually do the same thing, right? So I had a point to that, but we'll just say the point was that, sometimes your posts have powerful impacts and cause people to do things, Oh, yeah. So they don't know who you are, but you can still grow in one-to-many relationship. Like probably most of us on here know who Oprah is, and probably most of us on here, Oprah has no idea who we are, right? But Oprah recommends a book, and then it's the #1 best-selling ever, right? It's at the top of the charts immediately because she has that kind of influence, and that's what you're building. You're building not just authority, you're building celebrity authority, okay? And so you want to show multiple sides of yourself and do it that way. But, the point of the hashtag is to find the people, to circle it all back around, is to find the people that are within your target niche, that are that customer avatar of Jane that you're talking to, that you identified, that is eerily similar to yourself maybe, right? But maybe she's a little bit more open about what she's vulnerable about or her problems. You're able to post things directly talking to that person, and you use hashtags that person that Jane would use, and give that person a name. And then when you're using the hashtags that Jane would use, maybe Jane finds you on them someday, right? So the point of the hashtags, you can be found. So yeah, if you use hashtag LadyBoss, you'd be found on that one, on that hashtag. But then 29 other hashtags you could also be found on as well. And so that gets into a strategy that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. I don't know. How am I doing on time? Am I all right? You guys aren't in a hurry, right? Okay, cool. So location is one, and then the last way that you can target is other users. Other users is a really good way to target a customer avatar. So anybody have any idea how you can use a different Instagram user to target your avatar? No?
So are you talking about like people that would have the same interests as you? Or that are like similar to you, so they probably have the same friends. They're probably, am I making sense? Am I going anywhere with that?
Bit, but
like going after their followers, kind of.
That's more where I was trying to go with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
That's what I.
So what if I went this way? So let's think. What if I said? Well, let's see. So you guys have a competitor? Do you guys have any competitors?
Not really.
I mean, couldn't you say Herbalife or
let's say Thrive.
Thrive.
Say Thrive?
Thrive, yeah.
Thrive is a competitor. Okay.
Well, kind of, sort of, not really. But we don't really like them right now, so go ahead.
I got it. Well, it's not about who you don't like, but this would be more about who would be interested in Thrive. Wait, would the people interested in Thrive be likely to be interested in you?
Yes.
That was a unanimous, powerful. Yes, I am going to believe that. So I'm not seeing it on here. I know what Thrive is. They don't go by Thrive, do they? Lavelle.
Lavelle, yeah.
Lavelle.
Yeah.
L-E-V-E-L.
What is with these network marketing companies and the stupidest names? It's not Level. It's
why'd they get rid of Thrive? That's so much easier to remember.
Yeah. That's the name of their patch. Okay, cool. So here we have 18,400 people that follow a network marketing company's Instagram account. Who would follow a network marketing company's Instagram? More specifically, who would follow a Thrive Instagram account? Can you think of a single person?
You don't think it's going to be all their distributors?
That's exactly who it's going to be.
Yeah.
So now you've got a list of not just 18,400 of their distributors, but a list of 18,400 of their distributors that also have Instagram and followed Thrive. Right? Now, let's talk about some taboos here maybe, but well, it isn't really taboo. So what do we know about network marketers? I mean, how easy is it to start a network marketing business?
Pretty easy.
It's pretty easy.
Oh, do you mean just like us or like the actual starter?
Network marketing, to start any network marketing business, it's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the obstacles to join? You got to know somebody that wants to recruit you into network marketing. Pretty easy to find. You also got to have like a couple $100, maybe not even that in some cases, right? So it's pretty easy to start a network marketing company. Let's say you start a network marketing company, you join, you start a business. You know, do you think you're probably pretty likely to follow the Thrive Instagram page, right? And then what do most network marketers do? Do most network marketers live their dreams, succeed, make millions, quit their job? No. Most network marketers maybe are spending more money than they're making every month. Most network marketers maybe are faced up a bunch of haters and opposition from maybe even the people closest to them saying, this is a bad idea. You shouldn't be doing this. You know, oh, your Uncle Jimmy got scammed in one of those things. I can't believe you're doing network marketing, right? These are the kind of things that they're up against, right? And so ultimately, most network marketers quit and they'll try other companies because, you know, who likes to take personal responsibility? Yeah, I didn't see it. That wasn't a resounding me. I didn't hear a unanimous I do on that one. Nobody likes to take responsibility for stuff. It's much easier to just, you know what? I joined Thrive. That thing didn't work. Stupid little stickers. You know, I can't believe I got suckered into that shit. Ugh. But man, do I hate my job. Then all of a sudden, they get a like one day from, you know, beautiful Charlene, and she's got a smiling face. She's showing her eyes. It's slightly like this. Maybe she's got a bit of a squint, or not squint, a squinch on her face. And they're like, oh, what is this about? They click on it. They open it up. And Charlene's talking about making things better, right? So then, you know, they're like, oh, I like her. They follow. They see some pictures. They post some things. Oh, look at that. She had that I just ate that same meal. Wow, that's so cool. I'll comment that. I'll leave her a little message. Let Charlene know I left the same meal, right? And so this starts the relationship building process. And so targeting someone in Thrive now, if every one of you guys did it, it might be okay. If everyone in ITWORKS did it, it wouldn't work. But with you guys being a team, that would probably be all right if all of you guys targeted all the people in Thrive. That would probably be okay. What you don't want to do is you don't want to waste time with people who are very obviously unrecruitable, right? But within that 18,000 people, there's probably a lot of people that joined it and are either not satisfied, they're upset, maybe they're mad at their upline, maybe they're mad that they didn't get the results that they thought they would get with the product, or maybe they quit 6 months ago, but, Lavelle only posts every couple of days, and they don't really have good edge rank, and so their posts don't even show up in the feed anyway, so they never got around to unfollowing. They scrolled past them like 3 times, and then Instagram never showed them another Lavelle picture again, but they're still following them, so you can still target that person. So plenty of those people are not even in the company anymore. But what we do know about network marketing is once we become a network marketer, we're hooked for life, right? We love it. We got to make it happen. That dream, you meet too many people making $70,000 a month, hanging out, doing nothing, living the dream. And you're like, I need to make that happen. That has to be mine. I will figure it out one day. That guy's not that smart. So point is, targeting Lavelle people would be a very good target. And you want to lead with, here's one thing. Did you guys join ITWORKS? Did you join the company? I got one yes. I don't think you did, Emily. I think you joined a person. Yeah, you joined a person. And that person, you probably like them, right? No? Okay, well, maybe you trusted them at the time. You trusted them at the time, at least. You didn't even trust them.
Yes, you did. Yes, she did. She's full of shit right now. Go ahead.
And joined a business, and your first business partner being your upline, your sponsor, somebody that you didn't like and you didn't trust. That's what you're trying to tell me. Okay. Well,
I believe in myself. How about that?
So I'm not talking about now. I'm saying when you joined. And the point that I'm trying to make is that people don't join companies, they join people. And so if you're, like I've seen plenty of people, and hopefully it's none of you guys, but I've been friended by somebody with the ITWORKS logo as their profile picture, right? That's not
I hope there's nobody on this team.
Why would I want to do that?
Tell people not to do that.
Yeah, because you get fired up and you're like, oh my God, all I got to do is just blast this everywhere and everyone's going to join and I'll be rich, right? I don't know. Like the thought process isn't fully gone down that way for a lot of people because, how hard is it to join a network marketing company? Pretty easy, So a lot of people will do it. Even if they're not even really serious about building a business. But so anyway, the point is if you're reaching out to these people in Thrive and you're targeting them, the first conversation you have probably shouldn't be about ITWORKS. What I would do is have conversations with them about being a person, and then from being a person, let them respond to some of your marketing, right? And you can eventually bring up the thing as well. I know Rochelle's really good at this, so you could ask her for some stuff about like talking to the cold market and walking them through the process of deciding to join. So what I'm just talking about is just creating an environment where you're likely to have positive conversations that can go in the right direction, give them the information. And what you're looking for is not to get someone. You're looking to show somebody the information you saw and test them and see if they're presented the same information you saw, are they going to make the same decision that you made, right? Are they going to decide to do the same thing you did? Whether it's for the same reason you did or not isn't really all that important, but usually, likely, if you do your targeting right, it will be, right? They'll be very similar in similar circumstances or something like that. And not all of them, but something about you were in a position similar to them and you made the decision to join it. And you want to work with people who decide to do those things too. Does that make sense? You want to work with the people who see the same stuff and they choose, yes, I want to do this despite the obstacles. This is something that I think is going to be good for me and my family. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. I don't know what Sandy's doing, but you're about to see whatever she's got on my phone right now. She's just scrolling through Facebook. All right. So Okay, so I already got ahead of myself here, but we've got our message, right? Your message that you're going to deliver to them, the bio. We know who we're targeting. The question is how to become seen, right? So I've already mentioned this, and that is through notifications. So one of the ways to do that is what I call the 5-3-1 method. Has anybody heard of this? Perfect. So all you do, very simple. Let's say that this was, well, let's not go with that. Let's go here, and, well, this is a bad example, because instead of grabbing somebody that's engaged right now, I might be better off scrolling back a few years. If you can't really tell because the screen is all blurry, I'm scrolling back. But let's just pretend that I scrolled back to like the first 5 posts that Lavelle ever made. And then I come in here and look, and I see, oh, well, these are probably like the first 500 people, right? Now we know being in early isn't really what decides success. Getting in and being one of the first 500 people is not really how you succeed in network marketing. You know, that's not what it takes. There's a lot more to it, and the only ones that succeeded that got in early, you know, they would have succeeded if they got in late also. So, but what we do know is if we're going to find something, this let's say this is a picture that's 4 years old, there's a good chance that most of these 500 people are not in the company anymore, right? There's a pretty good chance. And so this would be a great target market. And so 5-3-1 would be, okay, let's look at, you know, Dom here. His picture drew me in, Dom Dale Green. I'm going to click on his thing. Let's look at his first picture, and I want to leave a comment for it. But since I'm on here, I can see, okay, 7 days ago. Cool. So this isn't a person that just created an Instagram account because they're going to go build Thrive on Instagram 3 years ago, posted one picture, quit Thrive, quit Instagram, and never went back again. This is a person that posts 7 days ago, and they're active with it. So what 5-3-1 would be is it would be liking 5 pictures. So if I click on this little thing right here, the 3 horizontal bars with the dot, I can see the pictures like this. And so I can like this picture, this picture, this picture. And so I can give him 5 likes, right? That's going to be 5 notifications that show up right here in this heart, right? Then I can comment on 3 pictures. I can comment on 2 pictures. I can comment on 1 picture, right? I can leave a comment or a couple of comments on some of his stuff, right? And then I can leave him a follow. That would be the 1. And you don't have to do 3 comments because you want them to be genuine comments. If you can't quickly come up with something that's like real to say that doesn't look like it's just some little spam bot shooting an emoji, a question is really good because they're going to respond to a question, and like not maybe even an open-ended question that's not a, oh, where did you know, how long have you had your snake? That guy's really cool. I just assumed that was a snake. They're not. That's a lizard. So maybe that would be a bad one to say. But how long do you have your lizard? Oh, that's really cool. You know, I used to have a lizard back when I was whatever. You know, ask a question. So now I look like a real person. I just literally filled his entire thing. Let's go right here. So if I look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So I now have 8 comments right here. Right? And so with 5-3-1, 8 takes up the whole screen. 5-3-1 is 9. And so now they would see my face, my name, and a couple of comments and my likes literally taking up this entire notification screen. What are the odds that that person actually, even if they have a lot of followers, and just like I did, I just scrolled through all this, and, you know, this is still only 4 hours ago, right? And I hadn't been on Instagram. I think I posted that picture yesterday, right? So, oops. So this was 4 hours ago, right? So even scrolling through this, I would see the same picture, the same little thing pop up on all of them, and they would see my name and they would see what I'm all about right there. Does that make sense? You guys see how that works? Pretty easy, right? So then it comes down to, right? So okay, let me pull this back and make sure I put this in scope for you guys. So you've got your avatar, you've got the perfect person that you talk to, that you want to target. Turns out that perfect person that you're targeting is, I forgot his name, Dom Dale Green, right? And I found him off the Thrive page. He's in my target market. He's got something interesting for me, you know, that I'm going to comment on. I leave him this wall of comments or this wall of notifications. He's like, who the hell is this person? Clicks on it, looks at my profile. I've got some pictures that maybe, you know, since he's in my target market, I've been posting pictures specifically trying to talk to him. I've got a bio that speaks directly to his dreams and pains and wants, desire, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, I'm active. I'm somebody that's posted 7 days ago, right? He posted 7 days ago. It's not like the first picture is 2 years ago. So all of a sudden, I just got a person to actually look at my profile. And now whether they follow or not is up to them, right? That's a decision. That's a choice that you're going to have. That's a choice that your people are going to have. And so if they follow you, now they're going to see more of your pictures. You guys see how you can use this to grow a following? And not just a following of like #follow for follow, and now we're all just following each other because we want more followers. It's people that are likely to like the things that you're talking about, be just like you, resonate with what you post, and when presented with the information that you saw, when you decided, hell yeah, I'm gonna join the team. I'm in. I'm doing ITWORKS. They said the same thing, right? That's the kind of people you want. What's up, Rochelle?
So like, and again, I've heard, this from you, and like that 531 makes sense because if you see all those people, but I've also, heard things like go to something like the gym or a nearby place and just follow every person and hope 20 of those people follow you back. So like, is that like a no-no? Like, should you just, obviously you want to have a better content of people. So is it better to take the time and get like 20 or 30 people a day and do the 531 as opposed to just adding 300 people and hoping 20 of them follow you back?
Yeah, awesome question. And so I'll give you two things. First, when I came at this from an internet marketer perspective, in internet marketing, it's all about testing. And so for you, I would say testing, right? Because you're probably going to have a question similar to, maybe not similar to that one, but a question that you would love to ask me, and you won't have the question for 3 more days. And of course, you could definitely reach out and ask me. I don't mind at all. But if you didn't, my answer would be you could just test it and see what happens, right? Just try it, see what works. I would say that there's not like, as far as action goes, that sounds like a thing that you're doing, taking action. There is no no-no, right? There's only see what happens, test it, and take action. Imperfect action is always better than waiting around to figure out perfect action, right? Imperfect action is always better. If you post 6 times a day and you find that, man, this is just stressing me out, stop doing that. If you post once a week and you're like, man, I get really good engagement on 1 post a week, I wonder what would happen if I did it more. Maybe post a little bit more, right? So find what works for you, fits into your lifestyle and suits it. I'm not a rigid when it comes to that kind of thing goes. Now, to go to the second part of that is what I described is quite time intensive, right? It's finding a person. It's, you can quickly like on 5 of their pictures, but then you got to actually type something for a comment, right? And then follow them. So it doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take some time. And you're not going to get 100% return, right? Not everyone that you do that to is going to follow you back. But over time, doing that, let's say you just spend 30 minutes a day doing that, I guarantee you're going to get a lot better of a response than if you go to #lifetime fitness and follow all the way down. Okay. But then the flip side of this is once you do have good engagement, once you do have a lot of people, you've been in a service business, did you get a lot of tips in your tip jar if you started out with an empty tip jar? Or did you seed the tip jar with some money first, right? You seed the tip jar with some money first. So I want to suggest that you start with 531 and seed the tip jar with some money, meaning seed your pictures with some likes and some comments, right? So that you're not posting and getting crickets, okay? That'll also help a lot with your confidence and excitement about continuing to do this. Because this isn't really like I'm going to jump on Instagram and make some sales today, and then if I don't, I'm done with it. It's kind of it's a process, right? You want to divorce from the result and marry the process. And so one of the part of the process would be to do it regularly. Now, on the other hand, once you're already posting pictures and getting a lot of engagement on everything, yeah, follow. Just throw some shit at the wall and see what sticks, right? Absolutely. There's no reason not to do that. They're all going to get one notification from you instead of a wall. So lower percentage shot, right? But how long did it take? Can you do it? You're watching Stranger Things 2 and you're just clicking through follow. That's what I'm watching right now. It's awesome. Yeah. So what I will say about that is that you don't want you always want to have more followers than you have following. And if you pass that, as soon as you go over a couple of hundred, or if you have a couple thousand followers already, a couple thousand where you're following, let's say you've got 500 or 1,000 followers and you're following 3,000 people, it's going to start blocking you, and it'll stop you, and then you'll have to wait like an hour, or you'll have to wait some time, and it's just not good. It also, for people like regular users of Instagram, it looks weird, right? They're like, who's this person that? Why would I want to follow them? They followed me. Oh, but they also follow 9,000 other people, and they've only got 3,000 followers. Like, it looks bad, right? So from a perception of the person who you send them the notification, and then they look at your profile, they see your picture, they see your bio, they see the pictures you have. They also see how many people you're following. So what I would say is, if you're going to go to the gym and do that, you also need to go back into your followers and unfollow, and spam that, okay? And there are programs, and there's like automation and ways that you can do that automated, and that stuff definitely does work if you know how to do it, and you're careful with it, then yeah, that stuff works for sure. So yeah, from both sides, start with 531, and then after you do that, and you're like, man, whenever I post a picture, I get some engagement, I get some likes, this is good. Follow everybody. And then remember that you got to go back and unfollow them. The one problem with this strategy is that if you use Instagram to, I don't want to say like waste time, but like to stay in contact with people that you're actually trying to follow, and you want to see their posts, this stuff isn't going to really work for you, because you're going to ruin your timeline. And it's just going to be loaded with all these people that you have no idea who they are. But one thing that you do know about them is that at one point in time, they are somehow within your target market. So you can still engage on those pictures, right? And that would help. That would help you being engaging with the person who just posted something. They're pretty likely to respond back because they're on Instagram right now. They just posted something, right? So, but if you just want to make sure that you see all your friends and stuff, you may want to just create another account to do this with. I don't feel the same way about Facebook, for the record. I don't think that you should create this one's for marketing on Facebook. But on Instagram, I think it does make sense. I would also tell all your friends on Facebook to follow your marketing Instagram account, because when we talk about content, which I need to hurry along because we're going pretty quick, but when we talk about content, it's a little bit different. For content, I would say that you want to, I don't know if I even have a slide for it. I may have a slide for it. So let's see.
Brian, can I ask a question really quick?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry. Does it matter more that you want like likes versus comments as far as like the algorithm, or it being that you're at the top of somebody's Instagram feed? Does it matter at all? Because I'll get a crap load of people to like my stuff, but I might not get any comments. And coming from Facebook, that bugs the shit out of me. I just didn't know if that mattered.
Yeah. So as far as ending up as top post, and then later, you want to end up not just top post, but on the explore page, which I can show you what that is when I jump back in. Just reminding me if I forget. But if you show up on the explore page, that's really good. You'll get a ton of traffic for that, but that's going to take a while, right? You're going to have to get into the thousands of likes on a picture. But when you get into that, then you can end up on the explore page for people, and that's huge. But yes, comments are weighted a little bit more than likes. And so if that bugs you, one thing you can do is, are you asking questions in these pictures? Sometimes? I think that's look like a sometimes. I can kind of read this. So yeah, questions work. Not just like something that maybe you're like, so here's an example, and you guys can steal this if you want. Share my screen, and then I'll show, okay, so while I'm here, let me show you, this is the explore page. If I go to this question mark, this little search thing, here's the explore page. And so how does Google know, how does Instagram know that, picked for you Naturalistas? I don't know why that got picked for me, but I do know why. It's probably because of some of the people that I'm following. But the reason I'm following them is not because this one's huge butt. It's because of they were within my target market, and I actually am at a level to where that's mostly automated. But it's probably here we got, for whatever reason, I also got freestyle soccer, right? And so this one right here is a video that probably has a ton of likes and a ton of comments. Yeah, there you go. So like 250,000 views is what this has. Only 7 comments, but 250,000 views on it. So if you can show up here, this is a really good place to show up, but you'll notice that if I just kind of click through here, this one's got 171,000. This one's only got 19, So you can show up on the likes page, even if you don't have a ton of likes, and you'll end up getting a lot more from that. And so that's going to come from hashtags that you post and what your content is regularly about. But that's not what I was here to show you. What was I here to show you? What was your question again, Emily? I'm ADD. I don't know.
It's all good. More weighted for the comments versus the likes, and if it bugs me.
Yeah. So I was going to show you a picture that I did that you can steal. Here's one I posted on Facebook that got 124 comments, so I thought it was good. A couple of things to notice about this, and then I posted it here, and it got 31 comments on Instagram. So a couple of things to notice about it. It's not something that I could Google, right? Another thing is, tattoos are kind of polarizing. Typically, somebody with a tattoo, they've got, some passion or something to say about it. They're excited to talk about their tattoo. I was also surprised a lot of other people were happy to jump in there and brag about not having any tattoo. And then other people just parroted exactly what I said. They said their age and that they also had 0 tattoos. So what you can draw from that is it's a question of me polling my audience. It's a question that I couldn't go to Google and get. It's a question that I can't get anywhere other than right here where you're seeing the question, right? It's a question that prompts people to want to engage, because they're excited to talk about it. It's a question where the answer is something that they want to give, right? So if you can think of something that maybe your target market would want to talk about, this would be a question where you're asking, your engagement. So anyway, I would make an intention to find something that, a question that you could ask, right? Find something to where, I'm going to make some posts specifically to get some comments, because I want that tip jar to be full. The other thing is, once you're doing this 5-3-1 method, you're going to start getting some comments, right? Just because of that, we have this law of reciprocity. If you follow somebody, a lot of people will follow you back strictly because you followed them. They're like, oh, that's what I do, right? Oh, those are the rules. They followed me. I got to follow them back, right? Now, that's not necessarily the best person. It is because they're in your target market, so you know that about them. But the other thing is they didn't necessarily follow you 100% because they love your profile. They also followed you because you followed them. And so one of the ways that you can tell that is if I look here, and I look, like I'm looking at the notifications, there's a button for me to follow this person right here. I don't even have to look at their profile to follow them. So a lot of followers can be deceptive in that you're like, oh, cool, I'm getting all these followers, but I'm not really getting the engagement that I should. That can kind of happen. In fact, this account right here is one that I had running with some autopilot stuff that I was doing that doesn't really have any engagement, and I'm testing to see how high I can get it sparked up from from not having any but having a ton of followers. So yeah. What's up?
I have a question about engagement. So like, I know on Facebook a lot of times, you get likes and no comments. So we'll thank people for the likes. And a lot of times you get orders because people think that their like was their comment. So is that like, obviously if you have, at some point, say if you have 500 likes on a post on Instagram, you can't talk to every 501 of those people, but should you like kind of go through and make some engagement with the people that liked stuff, or just wait for them to comment and leave the likes alone?
Yeah. So if you're Emily,
messaging them, or are you talking about like
messaging them like, hey, thanks for the like, or
yeah. Well, let's start with thanks for the like. I don't know. That is kind of what if I thanked you for a like? It's kind of a weird thing to be thanked for. So I would go with a different thing. Like, I don't know, whatever the post is about, strike up a conversation about that. That would probably be a better comment message to send than thanks for the like. I mean, it's pretty easy to ignore thanks for the like. I'm like, oh, cool, you're welcome. You know?
Yeah, but I guess just mean like, should you engage with likes as I guess more of the question.
Yeah. Great question. Let's say what you should do is if you were to prioritize your tasks at how important something is, engaging with someone because they double tapped on your photo as they were scrolling by, or possibly loved the picture, read your whole post, were really, really moved by it, but for whatever reason, they didn't really have anything specific to say and they liked it. Those would be the two extremes, right? Oh, and then one even worse. You either got the person that loved it and they were all about it and they liked it, but they weren't really compelled to comment. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you've got somebody who's got an account that's a robot and it's just liking everything because you used a hashtag, right? And then one step beyond that would be somebody that's a real person, but for whatever reason they just double tapped it and they moved on. But maybe they already liked like 40 things, and yours was one of 40. And maybe they're not all that memorable about it. What I'm getting at is the strongest one, the person at a level 10, that would be an awesome person to talk to. The one down here at a level 0 or level 1, not so much, all that important to talk to. But by sending them a message, and them responding to it, they are more likely to see your next picture. Okay? So what you got to ask yourself is, how important is that right now? Is that a good use of my time right now, or would I be better off reaching out to my customer that I haven't talked to in 3 months? Or would I be better off reaching out to some of my teammates? And if you don't have any customers or teammates that fit that qualification, then absolutely it would be good. If you've already posted a picture and you responded to all the comments, you're like, I still want to do a little bit more on Instagram to get this Instagram thing going. Absolutely. Strike up a conversation with people that liked your picture. That's a great, great, great group of people to go for sure. Now, when that gets to 500 messages isn't all that useful. So my answer is, yeah, it's a good thing. And whether you should do it every day or you should do it every once in a while is just going to depend on whether you have better things to do. It's not a high percentage shot, but it's not a bad thing at all. It's only going to help, but it does take time, and your time is like the most valuable resource you got, right? So what I'm saying is do it, but don't stress out about doing it all the time. As soon as you start to get really good engagement and you feel like I got awesome engagement, you'll have more useful things to do with your time than that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're brand new, if you're just starting out with Instagram, or you just started a new account because you don't want to ruin your old followers over there, the first thing I would do is connect that new account to Facebook, because Facebook's then going to tell all your friends about your new account, and then just talk about it too. Like one good one, you could just say, hey, I started an Instagram account. Follow me here and post yours below so I can follow you. Now you'll have a lot of people that want followers, so you got a lot of comments. That's going to help with the edge rank on Facebook. So more of your friends are going to see it, and then you'll get like this boost of followers that already know who you are. They already like you, and they were interested enough to follow you on a whole nother platform. So that's going to boost your engagement. Like right off the bat, your base level engagement will be higher. In the beginning, what you want to do is whatever you can to raise that engagement up. Once that engagement is up, that's not really the most useful thing. Okay? This would be a more useful thing, getting to advanced strategy. So this is something I call hashtag ascension. This is something that does take time, it does take work, and it is not useful until you're getting quite a few likes on stuff right away. Okay? So that would be the preface for it. This is something that, does anybody, who here gets over 100 likes on most pictures they post on Instagram? Okay, over 50 likes? We got anybody over 50 average likes? Okay, I got 2. 3? All right, cool. So we'll go with 50 then. So average picture, you're getting about 50 likes on it, right? You probably had some that do better and some that do worse, but that's about the average. So what the hashtag ascension is knowing that, okay, the first thing is you want to have a very likable picture, okay? And what I mean by that more specifically is that if somebody were to find it in that top post for hashtags, right? If somebody were to find it there, then they would look at it. It would draw their eye, and they would be likely to like on it. Does that make sense? Okay. Another thing is, there's 20 hashtags. So here's what you need. Okay. So if you get 50 that you get about 50 likes, what you would want to do is you want to go on over to Instagram and you want to find a hashtag that, Lady Boss, I think, was one of them where you actually could. So if we look at Lady Boss and we look at that hashtag, let's see if that lady's still ranking or if somebody else used Lady Boss and got more than 17 likes since then. We'll see. Okay, looks like she's gone. So she already got knocked out by somebody else. So 282, 196, 70. So she got knocked out by the girl with 70 is what it looks like. Yeah. So this one right here, I imagine if you watch the replay, this one probably wasn't there. My memory's not the best, but I'm guessing this one knocked her out. So that one lady that had 17, this one had 70. And so if you get about 50 likes, you're not going to get on Lady Boss. But let's just say, for this example, you get 100 likes on average on your picture. Well, look at that. This one only has 70. So we'll use hashtag Lady Boss. Okay? You're going to use 20 hashtags total that typically you can break into it with 100 likes. So what you would want to find is about 20 hashtags that you would show up in the top post for that hashtag with about 50 likes. Okay? In fact, let's not say that. Let's wait till that number is more like 300. Okay? So don't use this strategy until you get about 300. When your average likes is about 300, then you would know, okay, for sure I can get on Lady Boss. Let's find some other one where the lowest denominator is like 200, right? To where, the bar is still set kind of high. The bar is still 200. It's kind of high, but I've got like 100 more than that on my average post. So there's a very good chance, I'm going to show up in the top ranking, the top 9 for 20 hashtags right away. Does that make sense? Y'all follow me on this? So now that I'm showing up on this, I want some everybody for sure, 100%. Y'all follow that part? Because Emily looks maybe zoned out or confused.
She's pregnant. Just ignore her.
Or pregnant. There you go. Okay. She's just looking. Okay. So, yeah. So if you're showing up on the top 9 for those 20 hashtags, what do you think is going to happen with that picture?
You'll go up.
You'll go up. I guess that's a good way to put it. Yeah. So you'll get more people looking at it for sure.
Right.
Get more eyeballs on your picture. And if it's a very likable picture, number 1, right? That's number 1 there. If it's a very likable picture, then it's likely that you're going to get some more likes on that picture. And so you'll go up. And so now you've gone from having 300 likes to showing up on the top post for 20 hashtags. And all of a sudden you just went from 300 to maybe 400 or 500 likes. Okay? So let's just say, you try it out and it gets you from 300 to 400 likes. Well, what you want to do then is get about 5 more hashtags that really, in order to get into them, you would need about 400 likes. Now, on average, you don't get 400 likes, so you can't get on that hashtag, right? But because you have 20 hashtags that you can rank and show up in the top 9, you are likely to get an extra 100 likes, and that's going to move you from 300 to 400. Y'all follow me now?
So I have a question. So when you're typing out a hashtag, I know numbers pop up, like how many people have used that hashtag. So do you want to pick a hashtag that has more users or less users so you're more likely to get on the top of the hashtag?
More is good, but it's not this number right here. Can y'all see my mouse at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pointed at things just thinking you can. Okay, cool. So it's not this number here. You want this number to be big enough, right? Right? Because if this number is small and it has like 200 likes as the lowest one, well, maybe those 9 people are the only ones really on it or whatever. I don't know. But you want this number to be big, meaning there's a lot of traffic on it. But what matters is not this for you ranking. What matters is that you have more likes and more engagement than any one of these 9 pictures, and you'll replace it. Does that shed clarity on what you were asking, Rochelle?
Yeah, well, I guess what I was saying is like a lot of times, like say when I'm picking hashtags for something and say I put in Lady Boss, or let me say one that I can plural, like say if I do Boss Babe, and then it'll have like 1 million, like just a number, whatever. And then if it says boss babes and it's plural, it has a totally different number. So would I want to go with the one with the higher number or the lower number? Like those there?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So here's how you find that. Obviously, you would love to be in the top 9 for the hashtag boss babe. Okay. But what this is not going to satisfy criteria number 2. Okay. So if we look at criteria number 2, it's 20. This is going to be one of the hashtags. It has to be one that you can rank. And what rank means is it means that you have more likes than at least one of the pictures in the top 9. So if we look at these, 1900, 400, 600, 15, 115 is the lowest. Okay, so maybe you could get on this one. Yeah, 200, 200. Okay, cool. So on Boss Babe, if you can get a picture, let's say if your average likes is 200, this would be a great one. If your average like is about 50, this one would work for number 3 because it's within reach, but it wouldn't work for number 2. You follow me?
Yeah.
So you want 20 hashtags that fit criteria number 2, meaning your average post, you know for sure when you post this, you're absolutely going to get 300 likes, right? Because I know for sure everything I post, I'm at least getting about 300, right? That's on average. This is a really good picture. It's very likable. You know, I'm going to put the time into creating this hashtag ascension. You can reuse it several times, but this is an advanced strategy again. This is not useful until you get at least, like, let's say 200, 300 likes on stuff.
How many followers do you need? Or how many followers do you think you need to get like 200 and 300 likes on a picture?
Yeah, at least 200 or 300 followers, right? Would be the first. Yeah. After that, it would be like, how much do these followers actually like you, right? How much are they actually liking your pictures? Because if all of them are very engaged and they all logged in on Instagram that day and you post a really cool picture, you know, they would all like it. And then you could actually get more likes than you have followers for sure using these strategies. And this is actually where you're going to get most of your followers from once you do the 5-3-1 enough to create enough engaged followers. Okay, so it's not really followers that you're looking for. That number's not all that useful. It's engagement that really matters. Because once you have good engagement, then you've got 5 hashtags that you can rank. And so we know, okay, cool. In this example, Rochelle, she averages about 300 likes per picture. She's ready to do, let's say, even 100. We can start messing with it. But for it to really take off, you're going to need more than that. But let's say she's getting 300 likes per picture. We're going to grab 20 hashtags where you know for sure right now you can rank for it if you get 300 likes on a picture right now, right? Then we're going to grab 5 hashtags within reach. So those would be the ones like, let's say this one, you know, what was the lowest? The lowest was like 127, right? I think that was the lowest. Okay, so then we look at Boss Babes, plural, way less. So we'll see what this one is. Because if you're not getting 127, but let's say you're getting 50, okay? Let's say you get about 70 likes on every picture. As soon as this loads.
So I guess you would have to do your research on the hashtags before you use them, right?
Absolutely. You need to have this prepared before you post your picture. Because as soon as you post your picture, I really wish this screen was loaded so I could point at it. It's going to show up as the first picture below the top 9. Make sense?
Yeah.
So as soon as you post it, you want these hashtags on it. And I don't typically post the hashtags on the picture. I post them as the first comment on the picture. And the reason is just because it looks stupid to have a big ass clutter of pictures right there. You'll notice in this screenshot I have here on the left that this says in the comments, this is where all my hashtags are, right? They're in the comments. So here's the top post. You post a picture right now and you use all those hashtags right away as your first comment, you're going to be this one right here, right? This one was posted on 4 minutes ago. Okay, this is chronological order, kind of 3 minutes ago. Might be slightly off, but none of these are, you know, yesterday. Then you look at these. The other one was 127. This one's 167, 153. Seems about the same, 129. Okay, well, there we go, 25, 109. 304. So this one, you know that if you have at least 25 likes, you'll end up on this top 9. Okay. Now you know that there's less traffic on it, right? 700,000 versus 5-something million. There's less traffic on it, but there is traffic on it, and you can rank for it. So this one, would satisfy criteria number 2. It would be one of the 20 boss babes, whereas boss babes singular would satisfy criteria number 3. It would be within reach. Y'all follow me on that? So if you show up on 20 hashtags that you can rank, that helps you get more likes because you have a very likable picture. And then all of a sudden, you're sitting at 200 likes, and you show up within the 5 hashtags within reach. So now you're showing up on Boss Babes. Now you're being seen in front of, you're on, well, for one, you're in the top 9 of another hashtag, but for 2, it's a higher traffic hashtag, okay? And so this does say 25.5. This really should be like 28.2. 28.2. This was old information. This should be 28.2. And so you want to be on eight of them that are just barely out of reach, right? And I use the Boss Babes example just as an example. You don't really want to mess with this too much. This isn't that important until you can start getting a lot more likes. So if you're at 300, number 3 will be maybe stuff around, you got to be at 400 to 500 in order to rank for it. And then number 4, you'll grab 2 of them that really, in order to rank for it, you got to be at maybe like 800, right? And so what can happen is the hashtags that you rank for, those 8 hashtags that you rank for at number 3 can bring you enough likes to boost you into number 4 if you have a really likable picture, right? And then all of a sudden, now you're in a hashtag where you got to be 800 likes to be up there. It's got way more traffic, and that's going to skyrocket you maybe into like 1,200, 1,500 likes. And with this strategy, I've gotten 200 followers in a day that came specifically from one picture that ranked to the top. Make sense? Yeah. All right, cool. Cool. Any questions on that one? Okay. I think you guys are following me. So the first thing would be to get into the 531, and that's going to help you seed the tip jar with comments and with likes and engagement. And then once you feel like you've done a lot of that and it's not really, there's a better way, maybe you can start doing the spamming, right? Spam the followers and the unfollowing, just kind of spam it every once in a while and unfollow a bunch of people. And then when you've got a lot of engagement on your pictures and your post, you can do the hashtag ascension and start pulling in a couple hundred followers from one picture. Y'all see how this can work? See how this could get you 10,000 followers that are actually interested in what you're posting? Was it pretty valuable?
So I have a question. So I know that there's several apps out there like Captivate and then like Cleaner to unfollow people. But Rochelle had said that, you can do like 10,000 followers in a month or whatever. I know sometimes if you do things too fast on Instagram, you can get blocked. But is this the way that you primarily, like if I was to pay you to do it, is this the method that you follow to make that happen?
Great question. Yeah. So if you were to pay me to do it, you were going to, become one of my clients in my Instagram agency. I would tell you to do the 531 to see the tip jar, because that's not something that you can automate. And that's also going to help you really get to know your target market well, which is arguably way more valuable than any kind of Instagram, trick or hack or automation or whatever, right? Having message to market match, we can call it that. Your message really matching the market. A long time ago, Hewlett Packard, HP, came out with some MP3 players, and Apple came out with an iPod, right? And by all the metrics of specifics and stats, the HP MP3 player was better. It would have more memory. It would, it would work better. It was faster, and it was cheaper, right? But if you just look at it off of the facts about the things, HP was better. But what they didn't have is what Apple has, which is do we have any iPhone users? We got 3 of them. Okay, how much do you love your iPhone? Would you say anybody here love their iPhone out of a 10? Does anybody here talk shit to Android users? Have you ever talked shit? There we go. Yeah, a couple of them, right? So, Rochelle, how often do you talk shit to iPhone users? Would you say it's a direct proportion to how you're muted to how much they hate on Android users, or would you say iPhone is a little bit more?
I mean, they just give me shit for not, because I just got a new phone and I didn't switch to iPhone, but I felt like if I switched, like the entire family had to switch. So, and I just
well, let's say you did switch. What if you'd have bought an iPhone? Do you think there would be a bunch of Android users that would give you shit? Can you?
My wife.
Huh?
My wife.
What? Okay. Well, there you go.
That's the important.
So recently, there's been a bit more, but initially it was all only iPhone users hating, and then finally, like Android had to fight back a little bit. But what that is Apple has this marketing down where people that buy Apple products believe what they believe, right? They have a similar why. We want things to be simple. We want them to be sleek. We want them to be elegant, right? They've got one button instead of this crazy thing that's got 3 buttons here and then 2 buttons over here and then another button over here. What are you doing all these buttons? You just need the one, right? And maybe a power off button. Exactly. Oh, well, I don't understand that. I don't get that. Yeah. For me, I went a couple of buttons. Like I specifically went with the one that has the hard buttons instead of the screen buttons because there's like the other version of this Galaxy has the screen button. Yeah, I can shoot myself, right? I don't know. All right. So the point of me saying all this is that if you're talking to your people that believe what you believe, you're going to really get that engagement. And so the first thing that I would have you do, Emily, is do the 5-3-1 so that you can really get that message to market match, so that you can really get you can understand how to speak to your market. You can understand how to speak to your people so that maybe one day you give up drinking and one of your followers that you've never spoken to before feels so moved by it that they decide to improve their life too. Right. And, obviously that's just a metaphor, but you do something, you share something with them that moves them. Right. These are the kind of people you want. And you starting with the 5-3-1 is really the fastest way to find them and get them following you. So what I would do is start with that. And then I would graduate to the automation. I would graduate to just like Rochelle said, let's target gym people, pop, 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 and follow as many as we can. Now, what you did say was Instagram only lets you go so many in a day, and that's 100% right. It absolutely is right. In the beginning, when your account is new, you can only go so many, and as you grow bigger and bigger and bigger, the number of people that you can spam goes up, right? And so when I'm running accounts for clients, we are following and unfollowing 1,000 people a day, and we are liking 400 to 600 pictures a day. Okay, and then we're commenting on as many people as I can get that person to comment on. And so this is spamming a ton of notifications everywhere. Now, low percentage shot. It's just a spam. It's just a random notification from a complete stranger, but they're within your target market. And if you got a good profile picture and you got a good name, they're likely to come look at you. You got a good looking bio. You got a good pictures that you've been posting. It shows that you're active. They're in whatever, something about it grabs them and want to follow you, right? And then a percentage of those are also going to be the crappy followers that are just, it popped up and they're within your target market still, so they're a good follower, but they didn't even look at your page. All they did was click follow because it said that you're following them, and they feel obligated to follow back. So the majority of your followers, when you get to the automated thing, are going to be those people, right? But the 5-3-1 people, those are the better people. That's the higher quality. Those people feel a bit more of a connection, right? The ones where maybe you've got a bored day and you want to put a lot of work in on Instagram and you go to your picture and all the people that just liked it and you strike up a conversation with them about whatever, right? And maybe you do it with every single one of them, even if it's the same question to all of them. That can go a long way too, and it'll build up your engagement. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you, like, if you did work on our accounts too, do you kind of like look at it and be like, okay, you need to overhaul this? Like, I mean, obviously you've given us good information about like our actual like profile and the picture and all that, but like pictures and the content we're sharing, just based on research you've done and you doing it, can you kind of be like, I mean, team, like our upline definitely trains us to like not spam, not use certain pictures, not have our whole Facebook or our whole Instagram look like, when you look at it, you automatically see like, oh, she sells It Works. It's like,
Yeah.
it might be thrown in there, but you know, so our upline's good at teaching us that. But do you kind of help with like, maybe I would tone down this or do more of this or less of this kind of thing?
Yes, absolutely. And so when I get on a new client, you know, if you guys decide to work with me, I have a consultation session, 2 of them. And one of them is very much specifically about identifying that target market and coming up with, I guess you could call it a schedule. Really just like the kind of stuff that you're going to be posting, right? What are you going to post for them? And then I had a slide on it and I don't know what happened to it. But it was about what kind of stuff you're posting. And so on Instagram, if you look at it, you mainly see 6 pictures. There's some down here too. So I would make, this is what's important. You can figure out what the other 5 are. You know, I'll let you guys handle that. Let's just talk about the most important part just to kind of keep time short, which is going to be the pitch post, right? The one that's about pitching. It doesn't have to be a picture of the product. It doesn't have to be a picture of the name of the company. You don't have to mention any of that at all. Here's what you want. Whenever there's 2 different ways that I'll pitch. One of them will be straight up benefit or testimony driven. Here's a person that used it. Here's what happened. Here's where you can get it. Okay? That would be one of them. Those work if you haven't done one recently. Those don't work if you did one yesterday. Okay? The other way that works, and this one you can actually do more often, but this one works better, and this is through story. Okay? This is through story. Maybe you just post up like a beautiful picture of you and your family, and you're like, this picture is so awesome. It's a beautiful sunny day out in the park, but you know what? It wasn't always like this. You know, there used to be a time where I was super, super stressed out, and I didn't really have any dreams. You know, I don't know if you can relate with just one day, enough was enough, and I said, I've got to find a new way to do something, right? I got to find a new way to dig myself out of this hole that I've created, because where I'm at right now is the product of the best decisions. You know, where I'm at in my life is a result of the best decisions. And I realized that I had to make some new decisions. I had to change things. In order for my situation to get better, I had to get better. And so I knew that I needed to surround myself around a group of people that were going to lift me up, right? A group of people that were going to help me out, believe in me when I didn't really believe in myself, and tell me, look, you can have a better life. You can create something better for yourself, right? And to take that concept and, you know, internalize it in myself. And so I clicked on some of the stuff. I was following, you know, this lady named Rochelle, and she didn't know who I was, but I saw what she was posting on Instagram, and it inspired me. And one day she posted about how she started a new business. And I thought, you know, I've never started a business. I never saw myself as the kind of person that could run a business. But she showed me how easy it was. And you know what? I decided to go for it. And because of that one decision, that one day when I first decided to make, you know, to change my life, to start a new business, to create a better income for my family, to be able to spend more time with my children, you know, to be able to travel around the world, these awesome things have happened. And then just list off, you know, go into your story of what has actually happened for you. And so in that post, it was, if you guys want to write this down, what was it like? What's it like now? Or sorry, what was it like? What happened? Right? What was it like? What happened? What's it like now? Those are the steps that you want to go through in your post, right?
Past, present, future.
What? Yeah. Past, present, future. That works too. Yeah. Past, present, future. Okay. Except for instead of present, I want you to take present back and make present the time that you took the action that you're about to tell them to take, right? So maybe tell the story of the time you saw an Instagram, or, you know, you saw a post on social media, you saw a picture, you got a certain amount of information from somewhere, and you reached out to the person that posted it and asked for some, you know, how does this work? And because you asked that question, that turned into a conversation that, you know, ultimately led you to where you're at now, that is so much better for X, Y, and Z, right? So not necessarily past, present, future, more like the pain, right, to the action you want them to take, and telling the story of when you took that action, or if you're telling Rochelle's story, when Rochelle took that action, right? And then the result of what happened, the benefits of the result, hope, right? Connecting emotionally to hope for them, so that now they're seeing a story of, you can call it an isomorphic metaphor. How about that for a fancy word? Holy shit, I'm in that exact position, right? Like, oh, that makes sense to me. Yes, 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 yes. As if, you posted that thing on Instagram and I felt like you were talking right directly to me, right? That's the feeling that you're creating, right? Have you guys ever read something that somebody else posted that was speaking directly to you? Yeah, those are the kind of posts that you want to have. And so being real, that's the kind of thing that works in that, especially if you're talking to your audience. And so what was it like? Connect emotionally with pain, with struggle, with frustration, right? What happened? Connect emotionally with like hope, with excitement. And what's it like now? With joy. Connect emotionally with bliss, with relief, with no more pain, struggle, frustration, right? And that thing in the middle is going to be the action you want them to take, right? And so maybe, the action you want them, maybe you're not really telling the story of when you joined, but when you saw something that made you want to reach out to the person, and because you reached out to them, it led them to join. And here they are on Instagram seeing a post by a person that they're watching who doesn't know who they are, and maybe they want to reach out and join, right? They want to get started. They want to take their life to the next level. Does that make sense? You see that as powerful? Is that useful? Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, then let me show you the last bit. Okay, so if you guys do decide to take me on with what I'm doing, I would handle the audience growth, and you would focus on your conversation, meaning I'm not going to post any of your pictures. That's for you. I'm not going to respond to comments, right? That's something that you need to do. I'm not going to respond to direct messages. That would be you. So this is all about you. You're talking as closely as possible, one-to-one relationship, and then one-on-one from time to time with your people, right? All I would do is handle the growth to where you get more followers, more eyeballs on what you're doing. Y'all follow? Make sense? So typically, this is what I charge. It's $400 and $497, and that covers 2 consulting meetings. So this is where I do exactly what you were asking. We figure out the message to market match. We come up with what you're doing, your targeting, your messaging, and then, excuse me, and then I would handle the following, unfollowing, and the liking. And so that makes sure that your account doesn't get banned, that you don't get blocked. Now, Instagram could change something, but I haven't had an account banned in over 2 years. So I wouldn't worry about it. But at any time, Instagram can decide stuff. We are still working with, well, here's what we're really doing. We're actively breaking their terms of service. We're abusing their system to get people to look at us that didn't really necessarily mean to look at us that day by spamming notifications all over the place, right? But the followers we're looking for are real people that really resonate and really connect with your message and really like you. So you get deeper relationships, and that can lead to more leads and more sales. But for you guys, if y'all decide to do this tonight, then I will waive that $497 fee, and it'll be just the $97 a month. There's no contract. You're not signing up for 12 months. If at any time you don't think that this has been worth way more than $97, cancel. It's not a problem. I don't mind at all. So yeah.
How many, what do you normally average per month?
So after 8 weeks, you can expect to get between 2,000 and 3,000 followers. The 3,000 number would mean that you have better identified your audience and you have better posted the right kind of pictures, right? So, we can reevaluate after a couple of months or a couple of weeks. If it's not working, if something isn't jiving, something's not happening, then that means something is off, either in your targeting or in your message to that target, or in your effort level towards, what you're actually doing.
Right. Because I've been I didn't start my Instagram till I started ITWORKS. And that was a month even after. And I'm at 750 people. So I'm is that average for like a normal person adding people for 3 months, or is that like, am I super behind the ball, or am I like, so I could see how it would benefit.
Well, let's look at a real metric. How many sales have you gotten? How many leads have you gotten?
I mean, I've gotten,
bunch.
yeah, a handful. I mean, it's definitely seemed like it's a little bit better. I mean, it's hard to say. Facebook has been good too. I've gotten more off of Facebook, but I've noticed that the cold market's a lot easier on Instagram. So I could see how,
yes,
but like when you were talking about likes, I mean, my post with the most likes was probably 50 out of, you know what I mean? And I noticed a lot of times it's the same people over and over and over liking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily friends of mine from Facebook, so it's new people, but I'm just like, if I had 2,000 followers, am I only going to get up? You know what I mean? So I guess I'm just trying to figure out, like, is that average for just someone who has an Instagram page and you're adding people, or am I like,
Yeah, no, I'd say you're doing great. I mean, Emily's got the perception that you've got a bunch of sales. That's awesome. I'd say you're doing awesome. Can this help if you had a way bigger audience? I would say absolutely.
Yeah.
I think very much so. I can help you out. Let me show you one thing real quick. Here's the kind of problem that Heather just posted this 13 hours ago. I get so many messages on Instagram with my account, and I spent a good amount of time each day responding. Maybe 2 out of 20 end up a sale, and it's feeling like a lot of legwork. What's the solution? So there's a problem. She's got too many people to talk to. Can anybody relate with that?
No.
Or would anybody like to have that problem? I've got too many people to talk to, and I'm really only getting 2 sales out of every 20 people I'm talking to.
She sucks.
Yeah. Right? So that would be the kind of, so her account, let's look at her account. Let me just show you her account.
Send them on over to us, girl. We'll handle it for you.
Right.
No, that's okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so while you're pulling that up, question, what is your thoughts on like a personal page versus a business page on Instagram?
Yeah, great question. The answer is, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that I know. I've not done a business account because I'm working pretty well with what I got, and I don't know. They've recently, initially there was some problems with the business account that I didn't want to do, but then they recently kind of changed it up, and that's something I've been meaning to test, but I haven't.
Yeah, that's kind of my perspective on it too, because I've had my Instagram for 3 years, and I was like, I don't really want to change if I don't have to.
Yeah.
So I was just curious if you had done one. Now, the way that you are building your page is public, correct?
The way that I'm building my page is public on Instagram? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. The way that I'm building, you can't have people requesting to see your profile. Because if they need to request to see your profile, who would do that? Maybe only somebody that knows you, right? Or somebody that's trying to build a business or something and sell you something or whatever, right? But what you want is the notification, the whole purpose of spamming them with a like and a follow and a comment and showing an entire wall of just you, the entire purpose is to get them to look at your profile. If they look at your profile and you're making them request to even know what the hell you're about, it's not going to work, right? So I would, if you want to keep that one private, keep it on lockdown, that's fine. Instagram really easily allows you to have another account. You can have multiple accounts logged in, same phone, it's easy. Get a different account that can be public and open. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. I mean, that's just, you want, what makes them want to follow you is going to be the pictures that you've posted and your bio, and it's the whole thing. So if you're limiting it, you're going to be cutting off a lot of the people that would follow you. So here's Heather's account that she's complaining about. Her first picture was August 17th. So this account has been since August 17th. We can see that she has posted 66 times since then. She's got 6,700 followers. She posts 3 hours ago. 14 hours ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago. You seeing a trend here? 6 days ago. So I told her, as long as you're posting at least once a day, for the most part, that'd be good. There was a time where she took off and she went to Hawaii for a bit and was a little bit more relaxed on it. And obviously didn't get as many sales that week, right? But she's complaining, too many people are replying to her. If I look at her stuff, 93 likes, 62 likes, 91 likes, 213 likes, 118 likes, 320 likes. So for the most part, I would stay away from, I wouldn't really worry about the hashtag ascension on this account for at least another month or two. Let these likes raise a bit higher, and then we'll do the hashtag ascension.
So is she like part of a team of yours, or is she a client of yours?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I mean, we have keto coffee. And so, I mean, I know that Rochelle knows all about keto because she is a personal trainer, but it's just crazy now that we have the keto coffee to see like how many other companies do keto stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So the company that she's representing only sells keto stuff for the last 2 years or so. But one of the things that you're going to notice is that when something works in network marketing, it's going to come out all over the place. And that's why you've got Avon and Mary Kay. You've got Isogenics and Herbalife.
Got it.
Those two aren't really in the same world, but whatever.
Cool.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah.
Miriam, right?
Jeunesse, Nerium, yeah, the skincare companies. There's a bunch of them. So you could definitely target other companies that come out with that kind of product, but that's probably a bit more of a low percentage shot because if it's one product in a whole line of things and you're only talking about that one product and thinking, okay, well, these people have the same product that I do, I want to target them for when they're dissatisfied with their product. There's a chance you people are following, maybe they didn't join that company for that one product. Maybe they joined it for a different product, right? So here's another thing I'll touch on. You can have a bunch of Instagram accounts, and I would use them, you don't want to have more. You wouldn't really think, you would start with one and get that down first. But when I say laser targeted niche, like if you want to talk about keto coffee, let's target the Bulletproof Coffee people and build up an account that's all about Emily, all about Emily's family, all about Emily's life, all about all the awesome shit that Emily does, and about how cool keto coffee is. And let's not talk about greens. Let's not talk about wraps. Let's not talk about It Works at all. And let's specifically talk to the people that like Emily and they like Bulletproof Coffee, right? Because that keto coffee is a replacement for Bulletproof Coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easier. Oh, man. This used to suck ass when I would have to get butter in a blender and take all this time in the morning to blend up this fucking coffee thing, right? Now I can go to Starbucks, I can hand them my keto coffee and say, hey, can you make that? Next thing I know, she's buying it from me because she loved it so much. That was so great. And then I was able to get my keto coffee on the road, right? Because I'm too busy to spend I can rip open a packet and mix it, but any more than that, right now, morning time I'm not a morning person. And that's just way too many steps in the morning, right? Or whatever. I'm so glad I got keto coffee. Boom. Hit me up if you want a discount or, some kind of call to action. That would be one of the directly benefit type posts. Another one would be a story post where you tell a whole story of one time that having the keto coffee saved you, right? And you were so glad you had it. And maybe you can have like an entire story about it that pulls people in, because humans think in stories and we think in analogies and metaphors. We don't really think in facts and stats and stuff like that. Even though it seems like some people do, they maybe just love them, but they still think in stories and they still remember in stories. So the pitch post, a direct benefit post works every once in a while, but the story is a bigger one.
So I think maybe we talked about this the other day real quick, but going live on Instagram.
Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't cover that. Yeah. When you go live on Instagram, has anybody gone live on Instagram? Everybody that I can. Awesome. Yeah, because I'm going to share some things that if you haven't gone on live on Instagram and I don't know that you didn't raise your hand, then you're going to miss out. But no, Instagram is the lives stay up there for 24 hours. Here's something I'll say about lives on Instagram. You are not doing the live for the live audience. Interact with the live audience, but that's not who you're talking to. So you don't want to start up the live and say, all right, I'm going to sit here. More people are coming on in a second. Let me just stall for a little bit. While the two of you that are watching, watch me stall and waste your time, right? Because then who are you really making the live for? Any guesses? No
The
guesses.
people that aren't watching you anyway.
No, you're not making it for them either. You're making it for the replay viewers. How many views do you get on a live when you're live? Like, you got a real idea? Anybody have an idea about how many people jump on with you live?
5.
About 5. Okay, and then you post that.
Are you talking about Instagram or Facebook? I'm confused.
Either one, they're the same. The only difference with Instagram is that it deletes it in 24 hours.
Yeah.
But they're both the same. So whichever one you're more familiar with. How many people? This applies for Facebook Live too. How many people get on live with you on Facebook? Like 5, right? Maybe more. Sometimes, you got a high score.
Lucky.
Yeah. And then how many people see that video? How many views would you get on the video?
Couple hundred.
A couple hundred. That is like.
I mean, I got 1,000 on my house video.
Yeah, and how many people were on your house video live, Emily?
Like 20, 25.
Yeah. So 20, 25, a couple thousand. So the point of me saying this is you are not making the live video for the live audience. You are making the live video for the replay viewers because that is the overwhelming majority of people that are going to watch that video. So
you're saying jump into it right away. Don't be like, I'm going to
immediately.
jump on.
Yeah. The people that join it live, tell them oh my God, you got to watch, as soon as I'm done, you got to watch the replay because I shared something at the beginning. Yeah. Tell them that because there's only a handful of them. Yeah. So yes, engage with them. That's very useful because it'll bump your comments, which is going to make more people able to see it. But you're making the video for the replay viewer. And so I immediately start the video out talking to the replay viewer. Hey, you're watching the replay. I'm about to tell you, or you're about to get, the reason you need to pay attention to this whole thing is, maybe I don't use those exact words, but like, that's what I'm letting them know that they're going to pay attention. And I'm directly jumping into it right away. Yeah. So here's the other thing. Desktop. When you're looking at Instagram and you're on the home page, you see all the stories right here. This is in chronological order. This Z_something, that's a dude who posted something on his story, the most recent. And so if I refresh it, and all of a sudden, boom, I got this one right here, Gui Chapito. He has posted a story more recently than this guy has, right? God, I swear this is a beach I've been to in Australia at the very southern tip. Oh, that would be really cool if that's exactly what this is. Where is he? Lookout. Okay, I'll check that out later, but I'm pretty sure I've been there. That just distracted me. Sorry. So the reason I'm telling you that is if you want to show up right here, post to your story frequently.
So would you say maybe like do one really good post with a great picture, good hashtags once a day, say, or every other day, and then do more lives per day?
I wouldn't do more than one live per day because you're not making the live for the live people. You're making the live for the replay viewers. And so just make one live per day because it'll be gone in 24 hours. But you can make multiple story posts and then boop, you pop right up at the front. And some people just watch that stuff instead of TV, and then y'all saw how to make the polls, or one of you guys knows how to make the polls. But in case you don't, I'll just show you. I've gotten some sales like this. So if I come in here to the picture and I just take a picture like that of my hand, just kind of dark, boom. And I can click on this little smiley face Peely Pack sticker thingy, and I can go to poll, and I can ask a question. And I can say, have you drank bulletproof coffee before? Done. Boom. Now I got a poll. I want to make it kind of fancy. Right? Let's just, fancy it up a little bit. Now you can read it. And then I'm going to do, let's just tell them yes to click yes subliminally. And then now I've got a poll on my story. And when somebody goes to my story, they're going to see this poll. And let's say they say yes. Okay, now what I can do is, can somebody do me a favor real quick and go to, I didn't know I posted it. Can you go to Instagram and go to Fit Dream Couple?
Brittany, are you doing it? I don't have my phone.
Somebody do it. Yeah, and then go watch that story real quick so that I can finish my demonstration.
Fit Dream Couple?
Yeah, just watch it and click yes on the poll. No spaces, Fit Dream Couple.
Okay.
Okay, I think I gotta refresh it. Okay, so now there's a little 2. You see that little 2 in the bottom left?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. If I click on that 2, it shows me, oh, look at that, I already got 3 now. Somehow I got 3 votes with only 2. Oh, so I guess Britt and Ashley Walker both saw it and said yes. And so here are people that answered yes to my question. They have drank bulletproof coffee before. I can come over here and shoot her a message and say, I love how I feel when I drink bulletproof coffee. Or whatever, how long have you drank bulletproof? How long have you been drinking bulletproof coffee? Right? So now I just started a conversation with somebody that I know that is self-identified as wanting to interact with me, and they said yes, and they've drank bulletproof coffee, and so now I get to talk to them about it. Right? How do you do it would be the next question. Right? How do you drink bulletproof coffee? Or what do you do? And they'll just say like, oh, I use the butter and my Vitamix, and then I take, a ton of time in the morning cleaning the thing up, and it sucks, or whatever. And you're like, oh man, I don't do any of that shit. I got a way better way. You'll see how that works?
Yep.
So getting engagement with them. I would suggest a live a day. That would be good. More than that is not necessary or useful. You can even delete your previous live if you do it like, let's say 20 hours after your last one.
Does it matter how long your live is?
You're not. Oh,